Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Brandon Martin. I'm a partner marketing manager at AMC Technology, and I'd like to welcome you to our presentation From Cure to Recovery, Building the Contact Center for the Post-Pandemic World. Today, we're going to be talking about how our shared solutions can help call centers adapt to a much different business environment after the pandemic. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen here. Okay, so let's take a look at the agenda for today. First, we'll start off with some introductions from both the AMC and Barphone teams and a brief background on each of our companies and how we work together. We'll talk about what we're seeing contact centers are doing to prepare for a changed workforce post-pandemic and give you a tour of the DaVinci Platform. We'll take a look at how Barfon and AMC work together to deliver positive change for Plaisio, Greece's second largest retailer. We'll close the day with a special announcement and hopefully have time for a few questions. Before we get started, I just want to invite you to submit any questions in the navigation panel just to the right of your screen. We will do our best to get to questions, but should we run out of time, we will definitely answer them offline. We are recording this presentation and will distribute later on today. So again, welcome. My name is Brandon Martin. On the AMC side, I am joined by our account manager, Rob Preston, and our solutions engineer, Ken Rush. We are also joined today by our colleagues from Barphone. We have Marina Paktashoglu and Dimitris Verikios. So I'll go ahead and start with you, Marina. Go ahead.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for your time to attend this webinar. I am Marina Paktashoglu, and I've been running the marketing and sales operations at Barfon for the last 5 years. After the long-lasting partnership we have with the AMC team and experiencing all the changes and challenges that came up with COVID, we decided to run a webinar together for building a contact center for the post-pandemic world, as Brandon already mentioned. Before we start, let me say just a few things about Barfon. We are in the telecommunications industry for 50 years. Actually, this year is our anniversary, so we hope to be able to celebrate properly soon. We specialize in omni-channel and collaboration solutions, and we aim to provide the best experience for our customers and the end customers as well. As most of you already know, Barfon is a Avaya Diamond partner and cloud specialist, the only partner with this certification in our region. Avaya is one of the biggest companies in the telecommunications industry worldwide, specializing in contact centers, and according to Gartner Chat, Avaya is positioned among the leaders of the market. As Barfon, we provide our services and solutions directly to the Greek and Cypriot market, and we also serve several European countries through the strategic partnerships and synergies we have with top vendors of the industry. After the long-lasting collaboration we have with Jabra, in 2019, we became the only Jabra premium partner in Greece. This partnership enables us to provide high-quality and innovative audio and video solutions to our customers, making their collaboration experience even better, especially during the pandemic era. With some of you, we have been collaborating for many years, and this is something that Barfon aims to do, to build long-lasting and trustful relationships. We are proud to say that we have one of the biggest Avaya certified engineers team in our region, which consists of 14 dedicated engineers that cover the installation, support, and training needs of our customers. At this point, I would like to welcome Mr. Dimitris Verikios. Hi, Dimitris.
Thank you. Thank you, Marina. Hello all, and thank you for attending our webinar today. I am Dimitris Verikios, and I'm an account manager at Barfon. I am with Barfon for the last 14 years, and I have seen the evolution of the contact center industry over these years. The contact center business has been rapidly evolving from a single channel market to a multi-experience one. On top of this evolution, what we have experienced in the last 1.5 years is something quite remarkable. From one day to another, the business around the world had to adapt in the pandemic outburst and continue operations with a less possible impact. If you combine the new standards that were opposed by the pandemic with the transformation that the contact centers are going through, this created a puzzle that it was quite difficult to solve. Having spotted this transformation, Barfon needed to align with partners that could assist our customers in achieving their goals. We have chosen AMC as one of our most valued partners, as they have proven their capabilities and know-how, along with their willingness to assist both their partners, like Barfon, and their end customers. Now, we're going to go back to Brandon, that we will talk about the DaVinci.
Thank you so much, Marina and Dimitris. Barphone is one of AMC Technology's most long-standing and trusted partnerships, and we thoroughly appreciate your contributions to our team. AMC Technology is focused on improving the call center experience for agents and customers with our unique approach to integrating the technologies needed to run a successful contact center. We believe in flexibility and adaptability, and with the DaVinci Platform, we are able to provide call centers with the capability to integrate the communication channels, features, and functionality with your preferred business solutions. With DaVinci, we are able to put you in charge of your digital infrastructure to build a secure omni-channel experience in your preferred environment. DaVinci is an integration platform as a service, bringing together all of the communication channels and business solutions you need into a single pane of glass. We're celebrating our 25th and 26th anniversaries this year because, as we've all experienced, we didn't see each other in person last year. Like many organizations, we had to quickly adapt to the growing COVID-19 crisis and moved our operations entirely online. With our staff near fully vaccinated, we have steadily been welcoming people back to the office with a fresh perspective on business continuity. COVID has taught us all that preparing for an unthinkable situation is now a business requirement. The first question is no longer what if something happens, but are we prepared for when something happens? So in our research of contact centers and how they're preparing for the long term, we're seeing a number of trends that come together to represent adaptability. So what does this look like? Expanded remote operations. Not only do organizations benefit financially from remote work due to less overhead, but agents are more comfortable and more engaged when they have these options. In terms of the pandemic, having the ability to work from home not only meant comfort, but safety and security. Distributed workforce. So just as an anecdote, I used to work for a software company that specialized in remote work technologies. And I can tell you that before the pandemic, it was really startling for me to see how many companies were against telework. It seemed that companies like Google made creative work situations a common practice. And I believe in Europe it is more common, but here in the United States, according to a Pew Research, only about 20% of employees worked from home before the pandemic, and those 20% report that upwards of 70% of their jobs could be done at home. For organizations that were thrust into work from home situations, the benefits of that work scenario were swift: low overhead cost and safety and security of the workforce. Moving forward, it makes sense that many organizations will continue to realize these benefits and apply them to other concepts like talent acquisition. With the distributed workforce located in multiple locations, many companies will need additional capabilities, which means agents may be spread across multiple environments. How can organizations provide the tools to succeed in a multi-layered environment? More channels and self-service automation. Consumers have long been getting used to conducting their business from home, and after a year or more of having to remain at home, it's no surprise that many companies are opening up more and more channels to give people direct access, whether that is through chat or SMS, specified call routing, or automated customer service, companies must be prepared to receive their customers and also be prepared to add channel capability. How do you bring on multiple channels of communication, route them appropriately, and be prepared to create new avenues of communication with your clients? Leading with digital transactions. I mentioned things like chat and SMS. Digital transactions are becoming the first and second touch point, and often the entire transaction, rather than a traditional voice call. And as we go a few layers deeper, those digital interactions with bots have multiple layers of transactions beneath the surface. Whether it means using AI to pull data or route calls, there's a complex system at work to support that caller. And some solutions, especially the larger ones, have proprietary features that can be limiting when trying to integrate. You need to have the most channel integration capabilities to support the myriad ways people talk with your company. And finally, we're seeing a focus on security. I think it's safe to say at this point that the future of the call center is in the cloud. In our personal lives and the way we interact with providers is mostly cloud-based. DaVinci is no different. While we support premise and hybrid integrations, we, like many companies, are promoting the DaVinci cloud solution. Many clients, particularly for our clients in the financial sector, have security concerns directly related to cloud transactions. Introducing these technologies and passing large amounts of sensitive data through the cloud requires strict and disciplined attention to security. One of the ways we ensure the safety of our clients is by never retaining any of customer data that migrates through our DaVinci servers. Information is encrypted outside of DaVinci, passed through and decrypted in its secured local destination. Being prepared for the call centers of the future is more than just expanded capability, it's making those transactions secure and reliable for your business and your clients. So I've given you quite a bit of information to ponder, and I'd like to go ahead and switch gears and introduce you to Robert Preston to show you how DaVinci provides that extensibility and adaptability that is required to make these scenarios not just possible, but easily achieved. Rob?
Thank you for the introduction, Brandon. And I want to thank everyone again for joining today's webinar. So just to start this off, I'll be going through just a few key concepts around our platform, and then pass that conversation on to our solution engineer, Ken Rush, for a live demo. So to kick it off, this webinar's key focus is to discuss how we can build out contact centers for this post-pandemic world we live in today. A lot has happened over the past year, and it's still happening today. But since our conception at AMC over 25 years ago, we've been committed to helping people around the world connect with one another by improving the interactions between agents, customers, businesses, and in our communities at large. So as we take a step back and reflect on this past year, this mission of ours has become more relatable and vital as we step into this post-pandemic world, specifically as we all continue to strive for more effective communication channels through all aspects of our business day to day. So looking at our DaVinci solution, we see that this brings everything really full circle, cultivating an out-of-the-box experience for everyone involved, from the customer to the agent, as well as the upper management. It goes beyond just the integration with our solution. We create innovative solutions that solve contact center challenges now as well as in the future. So a common theme you'll hear today is around the future and preparedness for that future. But our solutions ability and adaptability with that functionality allows you to effectively operate your contact center, offering options to create your own ideal contact center for you, not just what is the norm. So without compromising for a fixed solution that may not be the right fit for you. So our DaVinci solution, our DaVinci platform, is the only product supporting the premise, cloud, and a hybrid of the two, offering these organizations like yourself several ways to build out their contact center how they see it, not conforming to fixed features or one size fits all models. Because as we all know, contact centers in any business is not the same. They're all custom. They're all unique to each other. So as an iPaaS, what Brandon discussed earlier, our DaVinci platform provides a unique product offering to the contact center space, providing both direct integrations of channels with business applications in a platform that can be enhanced to offer extensibility for current and future needs. So there are 5 key attributes and that bring DaVinci to the forefront of developing a high functional, flexible, and scalable solution in today's world, as you'll see on the slide here. But the most notable that I want to draw your attention to are the variety of integrations, feature rich, as well as omni-channel. So I've talked about the options that our DaVinci solution provides our clients. A big part of this is the number of point-to-point integrations available for CRM, CSM, and telephony in this market, in this industry today. The variety of integrations DaVinci runs through continues to grow, and it shifts the focus to what would work best for your contact center today and in the future, rather than what you should do. Our solution gives our clients the ability to seek out a CRM or CTI solution that works for them. So the feature-rich capabilities we offer gives the agents a more streamlined approach in their day-to-day and using each second to their advantage, such as screen pop, click to dial, contextual controls, and providing agents a single pane of glass experience, and there's no need for agents to toggle from application to application and take time away from their customers. Our solution brings everything together in a more streamlined, effective way. So choosing the integration scenarios that work best for you and your business instead of having to settle for a single product or a single CRM solution. All right, so our focus has been uniting best practices with our clients. And so this slide is going to focus on the key features and benefits DaVinci offers. So providing what DaVinci provides that seamless, personalized way to engage with their customers. From small, medium, large enterprise companies, we take a step back and look at how contact centers integrated their CRM, telephony tools with custom point-to-point solutions. Our expansive middleware that were often custom built would bring about high costs, both in terms of money and time. So this past miler did not and could not provide the flexibility or scalability for growing organizations today, specifically to keep up with the volume and the variety of applications needed to run a successful contact center. And as we've seen today, we need the adaptability and the flexibility to be prepared. So our DaVinci is unique in that way. Its ability to incorporate channels from different vendor applications and platforms, allowing organizations to pursue best of breed strategies and have open access to multiple channels now in the future, not limiting themselves to a single vendor, which is key as we've noted before. So this slide reflects the features and benefits, and a dynamic solution of DaVinci is offering that high-end functionality and opportunity for growth. It doesn't limit the amount of options our contact center clients have. So the 3 key elements to focus on in this slide that we've noted in this past year and a half, which tie closely to our cloud and post-pandemic discussion, would be the robust agent experience, the scalable solution, and then the seamless migration. So when we look at the robust agent experience, the CRM, CSM, embedded UI is key as we look at how advanced functionality empowers the agent's ability to support customers on their preferred channel. Whether it's through cloud, prem, or hybrid, it's what fits your organization best. In terms of scalable solution, we look at a full spectrum solution spanning from premise to cloud that fits all size organizations. And the migration piece is key as well, because we provide a solid path for migrating to cloud communications and taking advantage of the new innovative features offered by the next generation of cloud-based offerings. So this next slide is geared towards our Creator Studio. So this Creator Studio is our web-based portal with role-based functionality that makes it easy for contact center admins to browse and configure available apps and add users. I'll talk a little bit high level on this slide. Ken will get deeper into it in the live demo, so you'll have a real feel for how this is used in today's world. But the DaVinci licenses include access to the Creator Studio, which is on this slide, where users can browse and add computer apps. Easy to use toolbar that sits within their CRM to provide just advanced contact center features, like I said earlier. And so now at this time, I'm going to pass the torch over to Ken and let him run with this demo.
So thank you, Rob.
It seems we have a little problem here. Ken, we can hear you. This is what happens when we are live. It's okay. We'll find a way. He's the technical guy in our team. No, we can hear you.
No. Brandon, would you like until Ken, figures out the solution with his mic? I can continue with a Plaisio case study, and then we can, resume with Ken.
Sure. Can you hear me all right? Okay, sorry about
I can.
Okay, so yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
Ken
Ken's
is
back.
back.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Loud and
perfectly.
Okay. Okay. So I say use my current. So all right. My apologies. So let me get back started in my conversation with you. I just want to say what I said originally was, I just hope the only recovery you have to experience is a recovery of your personal and work life, and that you all have access to a vaccine. And I hope I have time to recover from that experience with the audio. So my name's Ken Rush. I've been in contact center business for about 25 years, most of that here with AMC, about 18 of that. Then before that, I worked for a startup that got acquired by Oracle. So in that career, I have been primarily a solution engineer and a sales engineer, but I've also had forays into development. And I was a product manager for something called Universal Work Queue, which was a forerunner to Omnichannel today. And in all those years, what I have seen is the anticipation of everything that Rob and Brendan and Marina and Demetrius have been talking about, that the future for the contact center is coming. And yeah, we've seen a lot of that gain some reasonable traction. But as we've been discussing here in the COVID world, all of that accelerated so that suddenly it's all here now and we need to confront it. So the question that I have for you, the question you need to ask yourself as you go forward in the contact center solution and deployment is whether you are, and that's whether you're new to the contact center, whether you're contact center gurus, is can the contact center solution proposed or the one that I have already existing, can that carry me forward into the future? So what is its lifespan? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it good for 5 years? Even at the 5-year horizon, it's time to start looking and thinking about how it will work. And one of the things that really distinguishes DaVinci as a platform for growth and future is its origins, because it considered all of that stuff. 3 years ago, okay, maybe maybe 3.5, AMC CTO and founder Tony Iuliano got together with our director of development and architect, Praveen Ravella, and they saw that our existing contact center solution and our existing integrations, a product called Contact Canvas, while very fully functional and robust in its integrations, did not have the ability to be a valid solution. It did not have the legs. It did not address the needs of the futures of the contact center. It wasn't as adaptable and as agile as is required of cloud solutions. So they looked at the problem space of what does it take to move and grow a contact center in the cloud. And what they realized was that the current deployments of what we call now fixed feature classic contact center, well, that can grow and adapt so you can sort of add new contact channels here or an application there, or even enhance functionality. The effort involved in doing that was so great, and the cost so great, and the time so great, that they quickly diminished the value of what we as a vendor and our co-vendors in this market space in this field were providing. So they came up with DaVinci, and DaVinci is a user experience cloud platform for iPaaS, and it's targeted to do the things that web-based contact centers need to do, to be able to adapt to integrations of the present and to give you a fully functional contact center out of the box to be competitive in the marketplace, but also to grow your contact center, to make your contact center work the way you need and want it to work, and to do so quickly and effectively. So while we may not have all of the pieces of everything you want the day you contact us, we can grow and develop those things for you, or you can do it, or your partner systems integrator can do it using our tools, our SDKs, to build them yourselves. So what I'm going to do now is to demonstrate in these demonstrations is to show you AMC DaVinci as a classic contact center. First off, integrating Microsoft Dynamics and Avaya platforms. And then while I'm doing that, I want to explain to you the capabilities and features of DaVinci architecture that is going on in the background as I'm working, so that you understand how this growth platform works today and how it can work for you in the future. Then I will demonstrate Creator Studio in a little more detail, as Rob discussed, and then we'll come back and I will show you a multi-channel contact center using a best-of-breed chat application integrated with an Avaya platform solution. So here I am in DaVinci in Microsoft Dynamics. Let me just go back here. And over here on the side, if I can move move this over a little bit, I have a sorry. There is the CIF. The CIF is the Channel Integration Framework. That's a standard integration capability that Microsoft offers in Dynamics. So this is a basically it's an iframe, and through CIF we have launched the DaVinci login page, and the DaVinci login page is a web page. So what I'm doing now is logging into a web application. So to do that, I'm just going to put in my username. And when I do this launch, you'll notice that I have all of these authentication options. My primary authentication option out of the box is DaVinci Classic Authentication, user password, and that's very, very solid. And in a premise world, that's a classic sufficient integration login. But for the cloud, you want something more secure. And so let's talk about the security of the cloud. Down here, I have all of these SAML authentication services, and SAML is a independent third-party identity provider, and what you do is you set up your users in that, and they are authenticated through this SAML identity provider, so you don't have to have different username passwords set up in all these other business applications, and so that achieves what's called single sign-on. I can log into one identity provider it has a trust relationship with the applications like DaVinci, and I get authenticated in the identity provider, and then we use that authentication to log us into DaVinci. So I'm going to use a provider named Okta. It's very popular. What I need to do is log in, and this is good because I only have to type my user information once, which is always a challenge for me. So now, while Okta's doing this dance, it's authenticating me in Okta, it's sending me into DaVinci to authenticate me, and now I'm loading the DaVinci toolbar. Now, because it's Avaya, I actually have to get authenticated in the second area. I have to be authenticated in the DaVinci premise gateway to access our integration into Avaya. And voila, I am logged in. And I can refresh this page. I probably will end up doing that later on, and that will just reset my setup, but I won't have to authenticate. I won't have to put in my password again because I've already been authenticated. And one of the values of the single sign-on obviously is that it just expedites login. Users only have to remember one password. So all of that's more secure. I don't have to secure multiple applications independently that way, but it also adds multi-factor authentication capabilities and the security of single sign-on. So I would recommend that you actually implement single sign-on wherever an application or a channel supports that. And I will just be honest with you, out of the box today, Avaya at the integration points that we do for AES and AZC doesn't do that, but we have other ways of maintaining that authentication that is leveraging our security with the SAML single sign-on provider. So now that I'm authenticated with Okta, let's just talk about some of the other ways that DaVinci is maintaining security in the cloud. One of those is just the fact that we are running on Microsoft's Azure cloud services. That's an incredibly secure platform. That platform has so many utilities and capabilities for security management. They're monitoring our security. We have the ability to monitor our security through something called the security analytics. So our DevOps team is monitoring security analytics in Microsoft, trying to keep us at about a high 90s. Our real target is 100%, and they're pretty effective in doing that. I believe that Microsoft's always coming up with new areas of ways of securing our environments, our cloud environments for you, and our team is always adopting those to keep us at 95, 99, or 100% whenever possible. So given that, let's move on to the second area of security, and that is the cloud security of these applications of the DaVinci toolbar. So what happened when I logged in was that the system, after I was logged in, I was connected to the DaVinci cloud. From the DaVinci cloud, we accessed my profile, which was in Creator Studio. So this is just Creator Studio. This is the profile that I'm using. And each one of these little tiles here represents one of the applications that I have installed on my desktop right now. And those apps are actually downloaded and running exclusively here. So now that I have my connection complete with DaVinci Cloud, I have no further contact with the cloud except for logging, audit logs, debug logs, and things like that. So I'm isolating each user's session as a point-to-point integration, and that way no data is flowing off of the desktop. You have secured your user browser successfully, so that means that you are addressing all of the data security concerns that you have, the DPRGs, and keeping PII, personal identified information, on the desktop inside the DaVinci integration. DaVinci itself is a pass-through, so obviously you have the Avaya environment, which is passing in call attached data, and you have the Dynamics integration into Dynamics in the cloud. So all of that has been hooked in right here at the desktop, completely secure. That also means that this is extensible at the desktop. I showed you all those apps. We can add another app, and I'll show you that in a bit. So now let's just show and walk through a classic contact center scenario. And as I pointed out, this is a fully functional contact center. DaVinci, after 3.5 years of development, is a very mature product, especially in our classic integrations. So the first area, so each one of those apps that I showed you over here, except for this one, has a representation here in the UI. So at the top here, the global presence, I control my availability in Avaya. I can set myself ready for phone calls, log out, set myself not ready, and get a phone call as well. So, classic screen pop. The other areas here are the phone area. As you can see, I have my phone area phone call coming through, and the business application area down here. And then in here, we have an interaction layer, if you want to call it that, which shows my current interaction, who I'm talking to at the moment, and call attached data. And so what happens here is that these expand and contract. They display information that keeps the user informed in a contextual way as they work through the contact center. So that's the telephony piece. And then down here at the bottom, I have the visible part of my integration into Microsoft Dynamics, and that is creating the activity record. So you can see that I'm creating an activity record here, and I also have the ability to create notes and the like. We also have things like predefined notes and stuff like that. So just a fully functional contact center. And I will just mention that I am scrolling on the side here. That's because I've expanded this to a very large screen size so that I can show it to you. And also because I'm sitting on a laptop, generally this fills an entire page and users would not have to scroll. So other features that we have here is the ability to, trace people's navigation. So you can see as I navigate over here, my activity record is automatically updated. All the things you expect and know of the Classic Contact Center. And if you want a full demonstration of Classic Contact Center, by all means, reach out to Barphone and they'll be glad to set you up with a adequate demonstration, I'm sure. So let's finish up this call. And let's talk about some of the reporting capabilities of this. So in this integration, again, we are respecting not just the security of your environment, but the importance of your existing reporting tools via AES, via AACC reporting, as well as in the Dynamics reporting. So when we were creating that call activity, so you can just go over to the call activity, this is how we are creating the customer 360 view. You can see that, in the call, it tracked the fact that I talked to Sally Newman. It said that the call was from a datum. So all that information is captured in here. And as your contact centers work, agents work and create thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of these records, that will give you the business process vision of your organization, as well as a view of your customers' relationship with your organization. And then on the Avaya side, when I set myself not ready, for example, and I pick my not ready reason, I am updating the Avaya statistics. I didn't turn it on here, but we also have call wrap up, so I can set call dispositions in Avaya. And information is linked because we have the we can have the call ID added to the Dynamics page. And AMC has some additional reporting capabilities coming out that give you some bigger vision of agent session times and stuff like that. And that's all driven by our direct integration into Avaya and Dynamics. So let's just go over into the Creator Studio and talk a little bit about what is going on here. I touched on it a little bit. I talked to you about what each one of these tiles does. So when I want to create an integration, I just, go in, I load one of these tiles, and I can just show you that we have a number of predefined out-of-the-box solutions. Some of these are actually pretty interesting. So one of the trends that we are seeing coming from Salesforce, coming from Microsoft as well, is inclusion of certain channels like chat and the like. So we have a combination adapter integration here called Salesforce Omnichannel. And that integrates with Salesforce's Omnichannel piece, which has its own presence and its own dispositions. They're not called dispositions; they're chat dispositions and email dispositions, and you can even have work items distributed through this. And Microsoft is doing this, so this is becoming an sort of alternate channel way of handling it. And so, if I wanted to bring in Salesforce or Microsoft's Omnichannel, we would add this channel just like that. So you just select the channel, and then the bar here gives me information about, what does this channel do, instructions on how to set it up, and then I can go into the configuration here, and I would just configure this to, connect with Salesforce and, the Salesforce specific things that they're going to want. And the net result of that is then, because of the way DaVinci works as this iPaaS, these components coordinate using messaging, and that creates an integrated solution for user groups, I'll call them. I'm going to remove that right now, because if I don't, it's going to try to start, and then when I go to do it next, it's going to blow up on me. Other areas of this capability, and I just have to move something out of the way for a second here. Other areas of this, other tools that you have at your disposal are a ability to set up your users, so I can manage my users. And when I do that, go into my demo user, for example, you can see that I use this to select and assign profiles. And obviously, because I'm a solution engineer, I have all of these profiles in my environment, but it would not be unusual for you to have a profile for each line of business, for each contact center group, so that their direct configurations can be set up. So the power of this is both the ability to have different environments set up and configured, and also to easily associate users, moving them between the components. There's one other piece that I'm not going to go into much detail, but I'm just going to point it out, and that is this ability to create new apps. So you can build a new app, which is basically a web application, and then you have to go out and create a tile. You apply this tile to the environment, and your solution is then incorporated. And there's one other thing I wanted to show you, which is, what if all of these apps are not enough? Well, AMC has an app gallery where we and our partners are adding new features all the time. And so you can just go out to the app gallery and select from some of these newer tools. Okay, so let's go back to Creator Studio. And I just want to give you an idea of the power of this. And I'm going to do that by showing you a functional enhancement rather than adding another complete solution like the Salesforce Omnichannel. So one of the challenges in a contact center that we've often received is, can you please have speed dial? Now, speed dial seems to be a very simple thing, a very typical thing, but this goes to the point of the problem of the old style versus the new style interface capability. So if I was in a classic contact center in the old contact canvas services, we actually had to add speed dial to each one of our channels. Sometimes we didn't add it to the channel, sometimes we added it to the business application. They were isolated, siloed components, so they could only talk to the channel that they were working with or the application. We had a customer, after we put all this together, and we didn't add speed dial to any of our channels or any of our applications, and they said, well, they wanted speed dial. And so all we had to do was go out and create a speed dial app. And this speed dial app has its own place on the contact center page, on the toolbar. And this is a very simple version of speed dial. What it does is I come in here and I'm just going to configure it to add a couple of phone numbers. I'll add a phone number for Rob, who is local to me. And I will add a phone number for Marina, and she's over in Greece, so I will add +30, and I think Athens is 21, and then I assure you that dialing this number will not get her. So now that I've added those phone numbers and added this, speed dial is now part of my solution. So let's go take a look at it. Now you might think, well, you're going to go log into all that stuff again. No, because this is a cloud solution. All I have to do is refresh. I'm logged in, I'm authenticated, and after I refresh, and the toolbar in CIF reloads, if we can give it a moment, there it comes, and there it's loading, and bang, there we go. There are two speed dials. There's, if I hover, there's Marina, there's Rob, and it's as simple as that. And I realize that's nothing too fancy, but actually it's very functional. But that speed dial might not be talking to those phone numbers. I might have a speed directory. So I might be able to bring in a directory, and that directory might be in Avaya, that directory might be in Microsoft, that directory might be in Facebook for all I care. And the beauty of this is by creating those web apps that do that, and by adding them to the visual space here, I have completely transformed my contact center. I've made it more accessible to my users, and obviously, you're going to be transferring calls to VDNs to different groups and stuff like that. So that's the power of this as a solution. So I'm going to log out, and I want to show you one more thing. Okay. And the last thing I really want to show you is best of breed, receiving a chat, receiving a phone call. And just so you know what I'm doing here, it's not this profile, but it is this profile. Give it a second to load. And so, get that out of my way, sorry. So I'm using Twilio Flex as my best of breed chat. There are a number of them out there. Basically, you're in a premise solution with Avaya, typically. You want to bring in a cloud channel, whether it's chat, SMS, or whatever. We can do that through a best of breed solution. Everything else is the same, although I will point out to you that I'm using a different simulator this time, so I'm not going to be connecting back into the DaVinci premise gateway. And my user is logged in as demo user 3 at amc.com. And this time I am just going to use DaVinci Authentication. And give it a second to load. And so it has to sit. Now what's going on right now is it's sampling into Twilio. And there we are. So as you can see now, I'm a different person. I'm Michael. And let's go take a phone call. So I have Twilio chat over here, and I just have to allow for it to give me alerts. And I have my phone call simulator here. Now, there's a major change here because I have availability on two things, and that's the power of global presence. Global presence is just something that controls my presence and coordinates presence across multiple channel platforms. So we have it on Avaya, we have it on Twilio. So as you can see here in my choices, I can go ready for phone calls and the like, and chats, or I can just go ready chat. So I'll just go ready for a phone call and show you a phone call coming in on the simulator. There's the phone call, typical screen pop. By the way, one of the other things that global presence does is it can show me the presence of other people in the contact center who are logged in. So I'll just transfer this call using a transfer capability to somebody else, okay? Now, having taken phone calls, I want to focus on chats. So what I will do is I will go ready chat. And because the phone system is receiving a not ready because I'm on chat, and the Twilio is now receiving ready, I am not going to get that inbound automated phone call. I am only going to be able to do chats right now. So let's go do a demonstration of chats. There we are. Oh, it's this one. You always get lost on the desktop. Anyways, that's why we want to keep you in a single pane of glass, by the way, which is the entire point of DaVinci. So here's my little chat utility. I wanted to say, help, I need to change a user's profile in DaVinci Creator Studio. And I just send that. And now when I get that, you can see, and I actually hear a ringing in my ear. I have a choice to answer or deflect that chat. I will answer that chat. And when I do, I'm going to get all the classic screen pop. Now, if this was embedded in your contact center, you would get an email address and stuff like that. So now I'll just say, thanks, here's how to do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's really very straightforward, but you know, hey, you can reach out to me for support at some future time, I hope, so that we can have a better conversation about how to do classic support. So that is how chat gets integrated. When I'm all done with the chat, I hang it up. And I'm now all done with my demo, so I'm going to transfer this back to Brandon if I remember how to do that. Okay.
You can't? Okay, so what do I have to do? Sharing, do I do it on sharing? I'm going to stop showing, and then audio, attendees, chat. Where do I do this? What is it? Audience, view, attendees. Oh, okay. And then you. Okay, got it. Sorry about that. Hey, it's not taking it. What do I have to do here? It's not taking it. It says it cannot take it. It says you cannot take control. Very good. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you so much, Ken. So you've seen the capabilities of DaVinci. I'd like to invite Dimitris to talk about how we work together with Barfon to completely transform the call center for Plaisio.
Yes, Brandon. We have installed and supported some of the biggest contact centers in Greece all these years. And today we would like to share with you our experience on implementing the DaVinci solution with a Avaya Aura contact center in Plaisio, one of the top retailers in Greece. For those few, I think, who do not know Plaisio, the company was founded around 50 years ago, and now it has almost 30 stores in Greece and more than 1,300 employees. They are focusing in technology products for both B2B and B2C customers. The last 3 years, they have entered the household electronics market also. All these customers have been served due to COVID by the 300 agents using the Avaya Aura contact center and the DaVinci solution from AMC to integrate with their SAP CRM. We first started cooperating with AMC during the initial installation in Plaisio back in 2014. At that time, Plaisio was in the transformation stage from the legacy infrastructure they had to a new one in both telephony and CRM. They need a robust solution that would move them to the next era. Following Barfon's recommendation, they have chosen the DaVinci solution powered by AMC to cover their needs. The solution has been tested by Plaisio in heavy traffic conditions, such as Black Friday. It has proven its robustness. On top of that, the complex environment which requires many changes that all top retailers are making in their systems in almost a daily basis in order to keep up with their customers, need a team with expertise to support them. The main advantages of working with AMC and DaVinci is that agents' productivity is increasing as they only have to worry about serving their customers. DaVinci provides a single pane of glass for multiple sources that combined can offer the agent a 360 view of the customer without the need to reach and search in different systems. In the case of Plaisio, the agents would have been using different interfaces for answering calls, making offers, checking contract expiration dates, and making outbound calls, if it was not for the DaVinci solution. Now, all required systems are combined in a single interface that increases productivity, decreases handling time, and increases customer satisfaction. Finally, we should not forget the speed of change that, combined with the speed of adaptation of new technologies, is crucial for retailers. Now, moving forward with our cooperation with AMC, Marina will make the announcement that Brandon was talking about at the beginning. So, Marina?
Yes, Dimitris, thank you. So from now on, both Barfon and AMC will make use of our new lab in Barfon's premises to expand our cooperation. In a few days, AMC will have access to the lab that includes Avaya workspace installation. Avaya workspace provides agents, supervisors, and other customer service personnel a single place to access the information they need to deliver a superior customer experience. AMC will have the ability to work in a fully equipped, updated Avaya infrastructure that would assist in making DaVinci interconnected with more Avaya products, which will add value to our customers, and we are looking forward to this. So we hope you find this webinar quite constructive. Thank you all for being with us today. We are at your disposal for further discussion on how we can make your customer experience even better.
Thank you so much, Marina, Dimitris, Rob, Ken. Thank you all for joining us today. We are right up against the hour, so apologize. I don't know that we have time for questions, but I will leave the contact information up there. We are recording the webinar, so we will send that along to you. And of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, please do reach out to AMC or Barphone, and we'd be happy to work with you. Thank you all so much for joining today, and be well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.